Republicans and Democrats are calling it a humanitarian crisis. We know there's a record number of migrant children crammed into large tents like these. And in an effort to relieve the congestion, the federal government is sending thousands of them to North Texas. The Biden administration is opening a new facility in downtown Dallas. The Kay Bailey Hutchinson Convention Center will open its doors tomorrow with the potential to house up to 3,000 teenage boys from 15 to 17 years old. Rebecca Lopez is live outside the convention center. Who's helping to organize the facility, Rebecca?
Well, FEMA is going to strictly be the one that is operating this facility. The city of Dallas will not take part in any of this. The boys could be here for months as the Biden administration tries to figure out long-term solutions of what to do on the growing crisis at the border. Volunteers began arriving at the convention center to set up. They're preparing for 3,000 boys to arrive from the border. Most of the refugees are from 15 to 17 years old. The Red Cross and Catholic Charities of Dallas have been asked to help.
I can only imagine how terrified some of these teenagers might be.
The children who will be housed here arrived at the border without their parents, many of them trying to escape extreme poverty and violence in their countries in Central America. Immigration advocates say many of them left after their families were threatened.
Those that are coming from the Northern Triangle, you know, they have been threatened. There's been a lot of extortion. There's the gangs, the narcotraficantes.
Once they're here, they will need things like medical supplies, toiletries, and activities to help them transition.
Our focus and our mission to make sure that they're treated with that dignity and that respect that they deserve, just like every person does.
Busloads of teens have already arrived in El Paso and Midland. Immigration has been an issue for presidents, going all the way back to Ronald Reagan.
The great thing about Catholic Charities is that, you know, no matter what faith, no matter who you are, we're here to serve. And so no matter what the politics are, what's happening, we are just here to serve.
Now, the goal is to place all of these teens with family members in the U.S. or with sponsors while they wait for their detention hearings. Now, Governor Greg Abbott will be here at the convention center tomorrow to answer questions about all of this. And of course, I will be here to cover that. Back to you.